I'm about to get real weird. You see, after over a decade of flying constantly, I only just made the simplest, cheapest change to my travel setup on this trip. And it completely changed how efficiently I live day to day while abroad now. And with zero suspense, it's tiny pouches clipped to the outside of my bags. Sounds stupid, right? But it's how I'm using them that's the game changer. You see, when you travel as often as I do, you stop thinking of your bag as a bag. It becomes a mobile version of your life. And interestingly, you realize you don't necessarily carry more stuff than on home turf. You just carry more categories of things that suddenly matter abroad. And a mini pouch, anchored to whichever bag I happen to be using that day, has quietly become one of the biggest quality of life improvements I've made. Not in a dramatic way, but in a constant compounding under the radar way, which, if you've been alive long enough, is the kind that matters most. However, there are a few ridiculously important things I've learned, especially around anchor points, attachment systems, and how these pouches move between different bags depending on the day, and I'll get into all of that detail shortly. But first, I want to show you how this actually plays out in real life. In travel, the number one item I reach for most, and it's not even close, are my wireless earbuds. If I'm stepping onto the MRT, waiting at the airport, or just moving between a meeting and a cafe work session, I'm either on a call, listening to an audiobook, or just using the noise cancellation for focus. And having instant access to my earbuds without having to dig into my main bag has been surprisingly transformative because it's not just convenience, it's continuity. Even more impactful is that when traveling, I rotate between 3 bags, even switching midday. As you know, my main travel backpack is a packed 45-liter carry-on. It has proper anchor points built in, which makes attaching a pouch straightforward and secure. Then I have my main work bag, the Alpaca Bravo Sling Max 2, but it does not have a dedicated external anchor point near the top. However, because these pouches are small enough, I can simply attach it to a zipper pull, and in practice, that works surprisingly well. Not the most elegant, but perfectly functional. Then there's my third bag. This is my no work, evenings and weekend leisure bag. And like the other 2 bags, this one I've also used for years. And it's the T33 from this segment sponsor TomTalk. And there are a few reasons I've stuck with it for so long with no temptation to change. First, directly relevant to this video, it has 2 reinforced external anchor points on either side. That right there makes attaching a mini pouch extremely clean and secure. There's a recessed rear zipper pocket that sits directly against your body to keep my most important items, passport, emergency cash, things I don't want exposed or accidentally accessed. Which sounds like a small detail, but in practice adds so much peace of mind. 2. Build quality. Water-resistant ripstop exterior, industry-leading YKK zippers, reinforced stitching and bar tacks at stress points. From a durability standpoint alone, it performs at a level that competes with slings that cost so much more. And 3. Design. It's minimal without being sterile, clean silhouette, no loud branding. It doesn't draw attention, which is exactly what I want when I'm traveling. I personally use the 3.5-liter version in gray, but they've got multiple colors and 2 other smaller sizes as well. And you can find the TomTalk T33 8-liter link down in the description below. Thank you so much to TomTalk for sponsoring this portion of the video. Yet with the mini pouches, on a full exploration day, one of the most underrated examples for me are soap sheets. When I finally do have a day to myself to explore, I always prefer more off the beaten path areas. And sometimes in those areas, access to things like public washrooms isn't always consistent. So having something like soap sheets that won't leak like liquid soap, stored in the same external pouch system, means I never have to think about it. And that's really the underlying principle here. Not optimization in a performance sense, but removal of decision overhead. Because when you zoom out, a travel day is not one continuous experience, it's a chain of micro moments. MRT rides, coffee shop deep work sessions, vendor meetings, explorative walking, and short transitions between environments. And in each of those moments, you very well might suddenly need something. Transit card, earbuds, soap sheets, heck, a pre-meeting breath mint, easily accessed and quickly popped in the mouth, all while on the back of a scooter taxi en route to that meeting. Individually, none of this matters, and I want to be very clear about that. A single instance of friction is irrelevant, but I've been doing this for over a decade, across hundreds of flights, across multiple cities every year, and what becomes clear over time is this: friction compounds. Quietly, almost invisibly, but consistently. And over years, it becomes a background tax on how smoothly you move through the world. And what these pouches have done on this trip is remove most of that tax. However, let's talk about the actual pouches I've been testing for the past few months, and more importantly, the lessons that came with them. First up, the Bellroy Light Pocket Trio. In a pack of 3, this particular one is the one I tested the most. These are extremely well thought out. I mean, each pouch comes with 2 anchor loops, which initially feels redundant, but actually gives you flexibility depending on orientation, where you mount it, and even whether you're left or right-handed. The set also includes a thin carabiner, which is surprisingly useful, because it allows attachment to many zipper pulls, not just dedicated anchor points. Next is the Agility Japan pouch, and if you saw it, this came from the Tokyo EDC Challenge video. It's excelled in public transit heavy cities, and the external sleeve is the key feature here. It allows instant access to transit cards like Suica or Passmo in Tokyo, or EasyCard in Taipei, or FLAS in Jakarta, without ever opening the main compartment. Just slide it out, tap into the system, slide it back in. But there is an important warning and lesson that I learned the hard way here. The built-in carabiner is not as secure as it appears. In my case, it actually detached twice in a single day, and the fix with this pouch was simple. I anchored an S-biner number 2 size with slide locks to the fixed built-in key loop instead, and that, of course, completely and permanently resolved the issue. Finally, the BitPlay pouch, which again, if you saw it, came from that 24-hour Taipei EDC challenge video. It includes layered internal organization, a balloon-style front compartment that's deceptively storage capable, and an L-shaped opening that helps prevent items from falling out during use. Especially useful for coins in cash-heavy cities. It also uses a closed loop D-ring anchor so no accidental drops like the Agility pouch's loose carabiner. And of course, it's MagSafe compatible too, so if I don't even want to bring a bag at all on any given outing, it'll attach so securely to my iPhone even with this thick case. And like everything else in the video, you can find it linked down in the description below. And I gotta say, these pouches I've tested are probably near the high end in terms of pricing. In the thick of all this experimentation, I just strolled into a Muji in Taipei, found this one with an integrated carabiner, and it was on sale for 99 Taiwan dollars, which is literally like just $3 US. But now, perhaps most importantly, are the general warnings after my own failures through experimenting over the past few months. First, as we already touched on, anchor security is non-negotiable. If this isn't solid, the system fails completely, because you don't want to be worrying in the back of your mind all day. Again, very affordable S-biner number 2 size with slide lock is my current favorite fix. Second, bag compatibility. I mean, not all bags have dedicated anchor points, and not all zipper pulls are created equal, so you need to test and trust your core gear before implementing. Third, daily habits. I mean, the moment I step in, I valet everything in the same place, which means the next time I leave, I never accidentally leave something behind. What I'm saying is, it'd be a real bummer if you had your transit card in the pouch anchored to your work bag when you got in, then decide to grab a bite an hour later with your small sling and only realize when you arrive at the MRT station that your transit card is still all the way back at the hotel. Next, and it's probably the most important warning, I am certain that this is not something most people need. Remember, I know I'm weird, and most folks are likely completely fine opening a bag and rummaging for a few seconds. I've just learned spending so much time abroad that I'm affected by micro annoyances so much more than the average person. And like most of my videos, the products are rarely the point. Revealing a challenge I face and sharing my attempt to solve it is, so as usual, please don't make knee-jerk purchases, because few things are worse than dedicating resources or even brain cells to solving a problem you don't even have. But if you do find yourself resonating with this type of micro annoyance, then yeah, externally anchored mini pouches might be worth exploring, and in fact, I'd argue this is so much more impactful at home. And if you want to see the miracle of how the same concept solved home organization for me once and for all, you will definitely want to watch this video right up here. If, however, you're in travel planning mode, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, if you got value, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drop.